Hello students, welcome back again on our e-learning platform, and today I will continue the lecture for BCom 4th Sem, BCom second year 4th Sem, and the subject is skill development. And before this we have gone through with communication. We have started our unit 2 communication, and in that we have seen interpersonal communication, what is body language, okay, then the relationship between communication and how the components of communications are connected with body language, with presentation, etc. And today we will focus on leadership skill. So what is leadership? The basic definition of leadership is guiding a group of people towards a common goal, as we have going through with skill development, okay, and it is one of the part which is considered in, we can say that, in the development, growth and development, and the, what you say, a smooth running of the business. So the leadership, if a manager is very skillful, he is having a very good leading qualities, leadership quality. It means what? If he can take the lead of the work, okay, having certain, what we call it as, having certain degrees, okay, experience, and along with that he requires skill to continue to take a lead for the specific work in which he is working or for which he is responsible for. So leadership means guiding a group, taking a lead for a common goal. So here we can say that there are two styles. Leadership is having two styles. Of course it is a quality, it is a skill, but it has two styles: autocratic style and democratic style. The autocratic style is one in which a single person takes control and makes decisions, directing others in his or her work or in his or her chosen course of action. It means there is a single person. Okay, again, only a top person being a boss, he will just give instructions to his employees and they will work for the sake of the boss, for the sake of the company. Means only two persons will be there, a top level person and the others who are working under him. Whereas in democratic leadership style, one person takes control, but means here also in like autocratic style there is a one person, single person who takes the control, but it is open to the group, okay, the group in which he is taking the lead. He is giving that freedom to the people who are part of that group. He is what we can say that he is allowing them to make decisions, okay, to keep their opinions and views, and accordingly collectively the decisions are taken, whereas where in democratic leadership style this leader guides rather than directs, okay. This is the real style, and this style is generally followed in all organizational types. This is the most popular leadership style in the youth groups and the greatest positive response. Means people like the employees, the persons who are being the part of the organization, they like which kind of boss? Democratic leaders, okay. So now modern leadership. What are the modern leadership styles? These are, since the advancement of situational leadership, a number of other leadership styles have been identified. Okay, Peter Economy, also known as the leadership bar, recently listed the qualities of today's best leadership. Now, what are these qualities? Decisiveness, awareness, focus, accountability, empathy, confidence, optimism, honesty, and inspiration. Okay, decisiveness. As in a democratic style, the boss is giving freedom to his fellow workers, to his employees. Okay, he is making them aware. He is giving them right path, showing the correct direction on what to focus, accountability, responsibility. Okay, he is bringing confidence in them, and he allows them to look the things in an optimistic way. Okay, how an employee should be honest towards his work. He works like a inspiration for them. So these are the modern leadership qualities or skills. Now we will move on to the another topic, that is team building. Okay, see, it is related with the what we call it as a leadership skills. Now why? Because team building is one of the part of leadership skill, leadership styles. Team building, he has to build a team, who a person who is responsible to take the lead, the person, either the person who is a leader, okay, he is having leadership qualities. Along with that, he is motivating the persons who are at the work. He shows them a right direction, correct path towards the work. Okay, at the same time, he has to build, he has to always motivate them, the team with whom he is working. He has to act like a team builder for them. So now what are the components of team building? Goal, collaboration, support, motivation, solution, skill, training and coaching. And here in this particular drawing you will find that goal and skill, these are highlighted. Now why? Because goal is something which has to be achieved. Okay, there are some objectives and goals which must be achieved for the sake of the management, for the sake of the business purpose. Now who is doing that? The manager is solely responsible, and along with the team. And as we have seen, management or the managing the things is not a single man job. Okay, he has to work with the group, he has to take a lead of the particular group. So he has to act as a team builder, and while doing that, building that team, what he has to do? He has to support them, he has to support his team always continuously. He has to motivate the workers, the motivate the people who are being the part of that group. He has to find the solutions for the team. Okay, he is enhancing the skills. What are the qualities, what are the personal qualities each individual is having in that team? He is finding that. Okay, first of all he is identifying, then accordingly he is delegating the different works to them. At the same time, if they require some solutions, they need some training, he is providing training also, coaching them for the works, for the goal which has to be achieved by that specific team. So these are the different components of team building. Correct? Now we will move on to other presentation, that is setting goals. Again, it is a part of a team building. The goals are set. This emphasizes the importance of clear objectives and individual and team goals. Okay, the members who are involved in the group, involved in the team, okay, they are having the action plan. They are working according to the guidelines of the boss, the central person, who is that? The leader. So many organizations negotiate a team charter with the team and union leaders. So role clarification. This emphasizes improving team members' understanding of their own and other respective roles and duties. Role here means what? The job or the work which is assigned to each and every individual. That is clarified. That who will do what. Okay, that is role clarification. The roles, duties, responsibilities all are divided and distributed among the team members. Okay. So this is intended to reduce ambiguity, and ambiguity means any confusions and foster understanding of the importance of the structure by activities. Okay. So role clarification is also there. Problem solving. This emphasizes identifying major problems with the team and working together to find solutions. This can have added benefit of enhance the critical thinking. So problem solving. He has to give the solutions. Who? The team leader. He has to give the solutions to his team, to his team problems. There should not be any confusion. He should clearly clarify. He should clearly delegate the roles, duties and jobs of the each and every team member. Interpersonal relation. This emphasizes increasing teamwork skill such as giving and receiving support. Every time he has to communicate with the team, he has to motivate them, he has to give certain solutions, he has to come to some decision so that the team should not suffer with the time, and when they require quick solutions, okay, with decisions, at that time the leader should be there. He should support them, he should act as a support system for the team. So these are some points which are related with team building. Now, public speaking. What is public speaking? Again, it is another part that is also known as oratory or oration. Okay, it is a process or act of performing a speech to a live audience. You must have heard there are various there are so many management groups. Okay, they are like they are giving speeches, they are always motivating the others. Okay, this type of speech is deliberately structured with three general purposes. Now what are these purposes? To inform, to persuade and to entertain. So with reference to our particular skill development, we can call it as a subject or we can call it as a topic for the study. It here the only mean is to inform and to persuade, but not to entertain. But considering that particular topic, public speaking, it means oratory or it is also known as oration. Okay, with the help of speeches, okay, with motivating them, with the help of giving speech to the people among the audience or to the team members. Here he is always informing them, he is persuading, it means he is providing the lectures. Public speaking is commonly understood as a formal face-to-face speaking of a single person to a group listener. It means there are two what do you say individuals, we can call one who is speaking, of course it is a single person, and who is listening, the listening may be a single person or maybe a group of listeners. Here it includes who says what in which channel to whom with what effect. Okay, this is actually a tagline of the public speaking. Who says what in which channel to whom with what effect. So here we will see the essentials or techniques of public speaking. Awareness, the quality that allows you choice over your actions as a speaker. The person who is speaking, okay, he is a single person, so he has to always aware about the topic on which he is giving a speech. Okay, so empathy. Most speakers start their speech preparation by asking themselves, what do I want to say? Okay, but an inspiring speaker starts from the perspective of their audience, seeking primarily to serve their aims. In doing so, they become a speaker who is listened and respected. Okay, so we can here take an example of a newly joined manager in the organization. And being a new person, he is not aware of the group, he is not aware of the people who are working in that particular organization. So first he has to take the idea. Okay, he will find out, he will judge what kind of group he is having, with whom he has to work, what he should do, what activities he will follow to gather that team. So here again, empathy means most speakers start their speech preparation by asking themselves, what do I want to say? But an inspiring speaker starts from the perspective of their audience, seeking primarily to serve their aims. So, freshness, the quality that gives a zing to any talk. Freshness allows a speaker to be unique, spontaneous, and memorable. See, you might have heard many of the speeches. That speech may be of any political person, that speech may be of any of your, what you call them, as a teacher or as a professor in your class. It is not necessary that you will like all the professors, you will like all the teachers. Maybe out of 3 or 4, you will like a single person or you will like a single teacher or a professor. Why? Because that particular fellow, that particular person who is speaking, who is a speaker, he has that quality to give always fresh things to his team members, to the listeners. So, freshness allows the speaker to be unique, spontaneous and memorable. Balance, the ability to judge which information goes in and which stays out in order to take your audience on an incredible journey through your public speaking. Fearlessness. Okay, see, these are all the techniques of public speaking. The person who is a speaker in the group, okay, or he is giving speech in front of group, then what qualities or what essential techniques he or she should have, those are mentioned here. Fearlessness. Okay, the person who is delivering the speech. Okay, so he has to be fearless, but at the same time he has to be very much aware. He has to give he has to deliver those points which are fresh, where he can maintain the balance between his speaking and between the response which he is getting from the listener. Okay, he should be fearless. It is not that he will always think about the listeners and he will continue his speech accordingly, but he has to be very much confident and fearless. So authenticity. Okay, the final and perhaps most importantly quality is the ability to be you, even if it is a vulnerable and even if it feels in some way inappropriate. Okay, so the person who is a speaker, he should try to go on delivering the lecture till the end. This is the quality that transforms the public speaking from technically very good to good. Now, qualities of a public speaker. What qualities he should have? Okay, he must be confident while giving a speech. He should not hesitate in delivering his lecture. Then passionate on the topic with on which topic he is delivering the lecture. For that he must be passionate. He should have that inner will and desire to speak on that particular topic. That is called passionate. Humorous. Okay, he has to be always, means to attain, to grab the attention of the group, of the listener. He has to be humorous. Okay, within a talk he has to make people to laugh. Okay, he should, matlab people should not get bored of his lecture, so he should be always humorous. Sincere. A good speaker must be a sincere person. He should take care of the topic. He should at the same time take care of his public, of his listeners. Resourceful. Okay, this usually comes from creativity. A good speaker knows where and how to get information that would engage the audience. Then knowledgeable, of course, he should have a deep knowledge about the particular topic on which he is delivering his lecture. Okay, he must have a good knowledge. He should have the depth of the